Conway, Fox News contributor, host of Here's the Deal on Fox Nation, is going to rescue us. He's going to rescue me one more time after all these years. Thank you for helping
out. Get your own American Rescue Plan, Larry? Look, that's an exciting opening because that's what the House and Senate have to do. They have to extend, if not expand, these Trump tax cuts from 2017 that you were so helpful with, Larry. And why? Because, I mean, it just exploded investment and savings. These companies did not stick it in the pockets of the C-suite. They invested in research and innovation and inventory and wages and benefits for their workers. They did that by themselves because when the government spends less money, then we have more money for us to spend. Mm-hmm. And it reversed those 100 or so corporate incursions. It brought that wealth that was parked legally overseas back to this country. And as President Trump has incentivized folks and said, look, if you make more here in the USA, we will help accelerate the permitting and approval processes. Mm-hmm. You make it down to a 15% corporate tax rate if you're doing enough here. Think about it, Larry. It was 35% when he got there in 2017. It can be 15% if you just invest more in the USA. If you do away with these dumb acronyms, BLM, CRT, DEI, ESG, and your acronym is USA.
I love that. Well done. I mean, really, it's a long journey for him, but you're right. From 35 to 15, and he's going to take down a lot of other taxes as well. I mean, the whole package is just chock full of stuff that will help the private sector and stop the government sector, which has been, I just say, you know, fat blocking the arteries of the free market economy. And we got to stop that, get it out of the way. We're going to have Scott Bessen's going to come on. You're pitching in right now while we're waiting for him to get out of
I'll be Scott Bessen's warm-up band any day.
Be Scott
I'm glad he's there with the
band.
PM of the UK and for a very important meeting.
Yes, yes, indeed. Kellyanne, I want to talk to you about something. Speaking of, let's stay on this subject for a minute. Free markets and liberty. Very interesting. Jeff Bezos, who is the proprietor, owner of the Washington Post newspaper, a far-left organ, as you would say. So he sent this out today. I'm just going to read a little bit of it, but it's very beautifully written, and I want to get your take, because I think this is a sign of the times, okay? Writing to let you know about a change coming to our opinion pages. This is Mr. Bezos of Washington Post. We are going to be writing every day in support and defense of two pillars: personal liberties and free markets. We'll cover other topics too, but viewpoints opposing those pillars will be left to be published by others. I am of America and for America, and proud to be so. Our country did not get here by being typical, and a big part of America's success has been freedom in the economic realm and everywhere else. Freedom is ethical, it minimizes coercion, and it's practical, and it drives creativity, invention, and prosperity. I mean, I would have thought it was Milton Friedman or Arthur Laffer or something like that, or Kellyanne Conway. This is really quite remarkable. Now, we'll have to see how he executes this, trust but verify. But this is one hell of a statement, which would be a major reversal for a newspaper which has gone left for, I don't know, 50
It's incredible.
or so.
And this follows on Jeff Bezos' pre-election note to everyone that they were no longer going to endorse presidential candidates. That led to resignations and protests and people canceling the subscriptions. Why? Because people who are associated with that paper believe that it was always going to carry its water. It was always going to reflect its point of view rather than report the news or reflect a diverse points of view. You know, this country loves diversity, but diversity also includes diversity of backgrounds, diversity of viewpoints. And for Jeff Bezos to say, I am of America and for America, and our twin pillars, personal liberty and free markets, much to be expressed. He also said something, he said two other things that were so important here, Larry. He said, look, we have the internet for all the rest of it. You want to read anybody's opinion about anything, just click online. The other thing he said was, years ago, a local paper like the Washington Post had, it would want to have a broad section of opinion on different things, but that's long before we only had broadsheets. Before Al Gore invented the internet. But look, I think what Bezos is trying to say is that this country has certain enduring principles regardless of your political affiliation. And you know what the response was from many people? Oh my God, he's compromising an independent and free press by telling the press cover free markets and personal liberty. This also follows our Vice President J.D. Vance going to the AI summit in Paris,
Right.
and then the Munich Security Conference 2 days later. And what did he say? Same message. Free speech is important, and if you suppress it among your people, you're not democratic. You don't love. You're not helping the folks to be part of.
It's not democracy.
That's right. I mean,
it doesn't have the democratic
and
values.
I was there at the Munich Security. I was sitting
there
there with the American delegation when the vice presidents delivered that in Munich, and people, you can audibly hear some of these folks, our European partners, grunting.
Bezos, after all, I'll tell you a quick story. Way back when on another network, Jimmy Cramer and I interviewed Jeff Bezos on set. The first quarter, he made a profit.
Wow, at Amazon.
Amazon
Incredible.
Books, okay? Amazon Books. But I'm just saying, he was a businessman.
Yes.
A pragmatic, common sense businessman. I'm just going to say returning to his roots. I also think this is part of the new Trumpian culture. It's like, it's okay to be for business. It's okay to be for liberty. It's okay to be for free markets. It's okay to be for free speech. You follow where I'm going here?
It's not just okay, it's core Americana. Again, it's not political. Larry, what's happening with the Washington Post under Bezos is what happened with Twitter under Musk, now called X.
Yes.
Twitter was a playground and a cesspool for anti-Trump, never-Trump screeds all day long. The never-Trumpers would just tweet at each other about how terrible Donald Trump was. They're all but gone. They're at something called Blue Sky or Red Pill or wherever it is they are.
Bye-bye.
And I say this because Elon Musk bought it and allowed voices back on there. No longer do conservative, center-right, free market, personally liberty-loving people feel that they are censored and shadow banned and silenced just because of their different points of view or because of their support of President Trump. And then President Trump himself owns Truth Social. This is the age of alternative media, of the democratization of information. Trump won in part because of alternative media, podcasts, and the like. Caroline Leavitt, his press secretary, has announced we're going to give seats to new people.
Right,
This opens up
right.
a great, diverse country to more diverse viewpoints, but also diverse channels. If you don't want to pay for a subscription, if you don't want to read the same stuff in a newspaper, you can tune into a podcast, you can go radio, you can sit in silence. That's your right.
Stop taking dictation for the left wing.
That's for sure.
She said.
You know who doesn't like it? The only people who don't like people who don't like it are those, the middleman that Donald Trump is cutting out. He communicates directly with the people. He's taken over 1,000 questions in the first month alone.
Yes.
You know who doesn't like that? The people who have to listen to his answers to the questions, who can no longer hear themselves talk.
Kellyanne Conway bailing me out again.
Thank you.
You're terrific stuff.